Redbull Battlegrounds.
Dire's structures are fortified.
That's game strength.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack. The battle begins.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a presentation of the Red Bull Battleground North American pre-qualifier here. Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Summit and joining me for Game 3 of Root Gaming versus North American Rejects version 2. Essentially, we had some simultaneous games going on, and whilst I was casting eHug versus Pain Gaming, we had the first two games go in the books for Root versus NAR. So the matchup is now tied 1-1, which brings us to final, concluding, and I guess you could say best of one, Game 3. This is going to be for advancing forward, and yeah, best of luck to both teams. Obviously, we do get to see a little bit more from Root. Got TC and Fluff captaining up this team here. They had a great Tiny Wisp combo in the previous game. Didn't get to see game one. That was definitely overlapping with everything I was casting up before, but obviously NAR took it away, and Ush is captaining up for their side there. So thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we'll get underway with the draft here.
Seconds remaining.
Sorry about that. Yep. Solo cast, sometimes you have to manage the stream at the same time, and just making sure everything's good on the technical side of things. But anyways, looking over at the early draft here, Root Gaming banning out both the Wisp and the Troll Warlord. Although they were the ones to run it, they didn't have the first pick option. They didn't want to give it away, so they banned those out. Pick up the Venge Zeus for themselves, and it's actually going to be the Bat Rider Sniper banned out originally from NAR. So they get the Lion Shadow Fiend, great combo for just a really good early nuke damage and early lane control. But yeah, the Juggernaut, the Queen of Pain are going to be the secondary openers, as they were not banned out. The Axe, the Brood, the Dazzle, the Lina, they're all off the board, but all these heroes that can just really get in quickly and do a heck of a lot of damage through Magic Immunity. That's what you're looking for with these types of individuals. Now the question is how they lane the Queen of Pain, and that varies from team to team, to be honest with you. Essentially, the Queen of Pain has been played in a pseudo-supportive role by a couple of teams, Complexity namely, and otherwise seen in a mid or an off-lane role. I think, I mean, like metas ago, we saw safe lane Queen of Pain, but I haven't seen that. Well, actually, we saw it last game, but that was kind of a reactive laning situation more than their initial intent, I believe. In either case, yeah, Queen of Pain, really good at just getting early farm, getting the Aghanim Scepter up, and doing a lot of work with that ultimate. But we'll have to see if she can do well enough against the Clockwork, who's going to be initiating against most of these heroes pretty effectively. I mean, once you get in close quarters with a Lion, even if he's got his Hex and Earth Spike, you're probably in a good position to take him down, especially after you've got your Blade Mail up. Against the Shadow Fiend, you can actually just cancel all of his spells if he's the only one in Battery Assault range. You can't get the Requiem off, can't get the Raises off unless they're perfectly timed, and it's just not great for him. Queen of Pain can blink out, but sometimes you get a couple of stutter steps on that from the hook shot from a Battery Assault or two, and then of course you get Mana Burn against her from the Cogs in many situations. So yeah, I think that Root Gaming have a pretty good initiation lineup, but the question is where their follow-through comes. Juggernaut obviously going to be going for that early Mask of Madness build-up, a lot of potential physical damage with the Omni Slash, but there you go. And Spirit Breaker is actually going to come out here for the North American Rejects. That is actually going to be a pretty interesting pickup here. It definitely screams to me that it's going to be an offlaner. So it's possible that they could go for a support Spirit Breaker along with the support Lion and get some aggressive action out that way. The problem is how quickly your Spirit Breaker finds level 2. Like, if he gets a bounty rune and he's halfway there, that's great. But early on, a support Spirit Breaker usually doesn't hit level 2 until like 2 or 3 minutes in the game due to creep pulling. The other alternative is he just sits on the lane and does nothing, but gets the experience that way. So either way, he's going to be kind of breaking down Root a little bit here. If he can get the control against the Juggernaut in particular, he's going to be a pretty happy camper. Just charging, nether striking, whatever he needs to do. A lot of his stuff goes through Magic Immunity, so Juggernaut doesn't even have the option to spin out. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at the ban out of the Skywrath Mage here, just in case they wanted to combo of that Spirit Breaker Skywrath, run a 3-position Spirit Breaker and spring too much pain for their liking. Another big aspect of the Skywrath is he can silence the Juggernaut instantly, so you're not going to get your Omni Slash off easily, might not even be able to spin away, and that causes some real issues. The final thing I'll mention is that Mystic Flare is great inside Cogs, and Clockwork 4 against them. Clockwork will be laying down a lot of them. So, finally, we're going to be seeing the ban out here of the Storm Spirit, just in case Root Gamer are going for more long-range initiation. Already, the Zeus gives them that global damage output, Clockwork with the long-range jump from Hookshot. But if you can follow through with a Storm Spirit on top of that, you can gank any lane, anytime. You can just stretch out your potential to find those kills, and it's difficult for NAR to respond. So they take that off the table, and we're not going to be seeing that from the mid lane, but alrighty, things are becoming quite clear at this point in time.
Templar Assassin.
So Templar Assassin is going to be coming out, and we'll see if they're going to get the matchup they want. If the Templar Assassin goes mid against the Queen of Pain, then you are pretty much winning that lane until she gets a Sentry Ward. As soon as she gets a Sentry Ward in the lane, she gets her Shadow Strike on your Refraction, meld or not, and it's a very difficult lane for you to hold. Shadow Fiend versus TA is a lane that still favors the Shadow Fiend slightly, but the Templar Assassin can definitely win out. The problem Root have with this laning configuration is that their draft doesn't really have that much rotation power. Zeus, Vengeful Spirit don't rotate nearly as actively as Lion and Spirit Breaker. So, generally speaking, those lanes aren't just going to be 1v1 matchups between either the Shadow Fiend and the Queen of Pain against that TA. It's going to be a +1 half the time, and that's going to be very difficult for the Templar to deal with. But the good thing is, if she comes out ahead in that, she's able to push towers quickly, take Roach very quickly. She has a lot of physical damage, and she can cause a lot of problems. So, we'll see how much tempo the Templar Assassin is able to accumulate, but NAR, they're the ones looking for their last pick here. It seems Root implied that there was going to be a support pickup thanks to the Skywrath Mage. That would be a 3-position Spirit Breaker, and then Queen of Pain would share 1 and 2. And it seems like that's actually what they're going to go with. Ush is taking the Shadow Fiend, potentially to the safe lane. Queen of Pain mid with a Sentry pooled, and then Fogged will be running that Earthshaker as a support. So no off-lane Shaker today, though he may be blocking out the creep wave for the Spirit Breaker just to help him out a little bit. So, going in, we're going to be seeing TC on the Templar Assassin. Monkeys Forever pick up the Juggernaut, and we might be seeing a little bit of a lane swap. I haven't seen a mid-Juggernaut in a while, but it's definitely something that Monkeys Forever has run in the past. So, I'd be excited to see what they're going to be bringing out here. But, as we expected, support Zeus, thanks to Fluff and stuff, and we'll see his item timing. It really comes down to his pulls, his jungling activity, and if he's able to really make his experience per minute count. Because he wants to get that level 6 pretty quickly. After that, you're pretty much golden. Like level 7, level 8, that's where you really hit your peak as a support Zeus. And from there, you just kind of focus on your ability to scout with your ultimate and, of course, D-ward for free. So, quick pause as we get underway here. For those that don't know all these players here, I'll just do a bit of an introduction for some of them here. It's on the side of North American Rejects. We've got Fogged running on the Earthshaker, Ush on the Shadow Fiend, Perfect Time, aka Mojo Stormstout or MSS on the Spirit Breaker, and a Korok on the Queen of Pain. Chad, kind of unknown. Not sure if that's the alias or not. We kind of got into this game pretty quickly, so I wasn't able to check everybody's side names there. But Chad it is on the Lion, supporting alongside Fogged. I actually have not gotten a chance to watch a lot of North American Rejects. Ever since their announcement, I've been really hyped for this team. It just, every time they're playing, I end up casting something. So this will be my first time really getting to see them in action, but a lot of these names and faces are well known and well loved. Anyways, looking at the side of Root Gaming, we've got Guanzo on his offlane Clockwork. Pretty cool cosmetic set. TC, going to be going for the mid Templar Assassin, pooled Tangos for those great stat build. So it's going to be Monkeys Forever on the safe lane Jug. That's going to leave Fluff to take your support Zeus alongside Jason's support Venge, boots first. So the big question is if they see this ward, I think they're pinging it. Yeah, this is dire pings, so they're going to be scouting this very early, and you could just even go for a lightning bolt so you don't have to buy the sentry wards. Very cost efficient just to use the mana that way. If you're at least 50% sure the ward there in that radius, then it's definitely the better way to go. And they get it. So great start for them. Unfortunate start for this this offlane Spearbreaker MSS. Will have a little bit more difficulty knowing when it's safe to charge. In the meantime, we've got the Bounty Rune pickup. It's going to be going to Shadow Fiend on the bottom. I don't see Guanzo contesting that. And then up top, they're going to give it to TC. So as you can see, mid laners are going to be given that extra Tango. We can see 4 Tangos coming out for Ush, and same for TC, and that's going to give them 6 each. So just a great way to use the Bounty Rune to kind of give yourself some restorative leverage in the lane. Fluff is actually going to be helping out in this lane a little bit as well, just trying to put a little bit of damage into Ush, but it's not that great. It's not the most cost-efficient damage. 75 for 100 isn't terrible, but it's giving Ush only a little bit of cause for concern. It's one or two Tangos, at least for the moment. But, you know, those little HP values can make the difference, and it's going to at least bring the Shaker in here. Fog looking to kind of bring in the counter-ganking potential. Down bottom, we're actually going to see a lot of damage going to Guanzo here. He's got the Cog still available, and actually Korok AFK paused the game. What has happened to Korok here? Disconnected out. Yeah, that's very sad. Now, he didn't have Shadow Strike skilled. He had Blink skilled, so I'm not sure if there was actually any kill potential missed. Because essentially you look at it, you're like, oh, Chad's getting right clicks. He's earth spiking. He's getting kills. Or setting up a kill. But Korok without the Shadow Strike, I don't know if you can say, oh, that disconnect cost them the first blood. It's just going to be a kind of a nuisance for Korok more than a situation where they get the kill or they don't. And that's a good point. Somebody in chat pointed out Monkeys Forever doesn't typically go mid in official games, just in like his pub stream. You watch that enough, you'll see him go mid very frequently, even on Jug. But TC is rocking that role for now, and seems to be doing a decent job right now. Look at the last hits, for example. 5 and 2 for TC. Focusing on last hits as well as denies to make sure Ush keeps his Necromastery low. And is this a miss skill? I've seen a lot of Shadow Fiend builds in my day, but not taking Necromastery at 2 is something that I haven't seen in a very long time. I've seen even opener of Aura, but you still go Necromastery second. Going for the Aura at this stage in the game, it's something I haven't seen, and I'll have to do some research if it's standard or if it's a misclick. Definitely not standard, but not unheard of, I guess is a better way to put it. Either way, we've got down bottom, Fog making his rotation, looking for Guanzo. Dire Observer Ward does not see him, and this Fisher could set up your first blood here. Gonna go for it, and just a little bit too far back. If he stays there for 1 second longer, that's a kill, but as it stands, they're just gonna let him hop away. Guanzo's going to even look for the bottom rune, and I don't think Fog contests this. So that is very, very good for Root to start things off. Both runes going the way at the 2-minute mark. It's going to be Bounty Rune for Guanzo. It's going to be Illusion Rune for whoever wants it. TC no bottle just yet. And it's going to be another DC for Korok, unfortunately. Hopefully he's not plagued by this for the rest of the game, but right now he's safe lane farming under tower, and every blip of ping or disconnect definitely changes how things work out for you. Spiking and dropping. That's unfortunate. But we are going to proceed as soon as his ping regulates, and otherwise, yeah, we're going to be seeing Shadow Fiend kind of going for this 1-1-1 build. That's a little bit weird. And I don't think I'm breaking any like unspoken rules by doing this, but I did just PM Ush and ask if he misskilled. I'm not giving him any information. I'm just getting the information of he did miskill. He just responded to me. That was not intentional at all. And yeah, it happens. Happens to the best of us. But yeah, he is now 1-1-1 unintentionally, but doing the best he can, trying to make up for lost time. Anyways, Fluff actually almost goes down there up top. Now it's going to be MSS in a weird spot. A lot of body blocks coming out, and Venge, even without the magic missile, still might get the kill. 3 right clicks coming out, the lightning bolt, and your first blood. So yeah, just moving in forward, getting the charge out, and nearly killing off Fluff, who only has 1 armor, but just didn't get the 1 bash he needed. Guanzo down bottom, taking a lot of hits here. The great Fisher block from Fog, and he will be taking a tumble. Actually, a lot of disable in this lineup here. The Fisher, not only stunning, but blocking. The Lion with the 2 stuns, and the Shadow Strike, if necessary, even 2 points in it. So, there you go. We're going to be seeing a really good start for Root Gaming, as Ush is just getting dominated in this mid lane with that miss skill. Suddenly, he's just falling so far behind, and it's going to be costing them unless they get some ganks going on. So we do see Fog making his way over. A great Fisher opportunity, but it's a little bit too late. Zeus does deny himself to neutrals. It seems intentional, generally speaking. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason he would be farming in melee range of them otherwise. So intentional suicide, getting the full HP and mana, and immediately TPing back to the lane. He'll have his soul ring in not too long. In the meantime, there might be some gank potential if they can just get in range for MSS. He has a charge. He's got boots. He's fine. So, it's going to be, for the Templar Assassin, a nice lane advantage for him. He's already got his boots flying out on top of the bottle on Wraithband. And he's even going to be able to bottle up. No, he's not going for the 2-minute rune. Nobody likes this illusion rune. It's just almost a waste of time going for it. But the 4-minute rune, that's a bounty rune, and that's money. So Vengeful Spirit will nab that up, and now Spirit Breaker has to fall back. But boots, bottle coming out for Ush now. Or actually just the bottle. The boots is actually for the Earthshaker. So you can just see how this is affecting Shadow Fiend's momentum. In the meantime, Korok's back in it. Seems to have resolved whatever connection issues he had. And yeah, he's got a regen rune. So you got to watch for that kill on Guanzo. I think there's some real potential with Chad coming in from the flank. Boots versus Boots. About the same movement speed. And they find the opening. Guanzo needs the cogs perfectly. Does knock back Korok. But still taking so much damage. This TP is not going to be fast enough. Guanzo goes down. And they fall back. Oh, Wave of Terror could almost snipe out the Queen of Pain. But it is just going to be bottled up. And Guanzo's in a rough spot. I feel like he should just be trying to go for the cog blocks back as often as possible, and that would make it so that it's safer and safer, and he doesn't have to come out to this position. But in the end, you're risking it being in tower range. It's a very finicky Creequilibrium. TC. Oh, it's actually going to be Jason going for Medallion very early on. The recipe is a pretty expensive component nowadays. It used to be cheap, but they keep buffing it up, and he just kind of shows what he's going to be looking for long term. Up tops, just getting experience here. Spirit Breaker is at level 3. Around level 4 is when you usually see your first Spirit Breaker gank, and then it's all about him getting to his level 6 quickly. But at least right now he's actually on mid. There is going to be a magic missile connecting, and that should be the death of Ush here. They trap just to make sure he's going nowhere, and unless Fogged is there with the Fisher, there's no way to stop that. So just unfortunate they didn't see the Venge coming, and if you look at Radiant Vision, They really don't see anything up on this high ground. So the Venge can jump in quickly, and those traps can set up the kill. Up top, Spirit Breaker still in a risky spot, but it seems like he'll be okay for the moment. Oh, never mind. He's actually going to get jumped on. Nah. As long as he stays away from the Venge, that's the problem. Like, the Zeus he can harass him, but he's not going to be able to actually lock him down or kill him. Going for a 1-2-0 build, and looking for that soul ring pretty soon. He's got 2 out of 3 out of the components. But yeah, like right now, I feel like this creep wave should have been blocked. Like Guanzo definitely had the time to do that. He's doing absolutely nothing, staying all the way this far away from the creep wave, timing some rockets, not getting any last hits. Just doesn't feel like it's the time for Clockwork to be sitting under tower. But he needs that level 6, and he'll have to be waiting patiently for it, unfortunately. Like Chad, Korok, they've controlled the creep equilibrium pretty well. It's pulled back, and should be a cog block coming here. Bodying, but not cogging. And that's a big difference between bodying and... There it is. Okay, finally getting the melee creeps in. Only the range and siege forward. In the meantime, Spearbreaker did have to leave the lane. No empowering haste, so it's a long walk home, and he'll probably be charging from the fountain to see if he can make a kill happen somewhere. Guanzo just wants his 6, but he might not even get it now. Sonic Wave's available. They get the Shadow Strike, but they won't dive further. Zeus cancels the TP and the charge. They still have vision onto Guanzo. They can actually kind of use this route to sneak up on him a little bit. Rocket Flare will give some idea, but dire vision. They have no clue what's coming for the Clockwork. The cogs won't come out fast enough. He'll just be Sonic Wave screamed and bashed down. Great movement from MSS and Korok for the kill. And Clockwork still halfway to level 6. He's been this way for like 2 minutes, and these are ganks that could be happening. This is the hero that's supposed to be controlling the tempo, and instead it's controlled against him. But we do see the trap, a very potent one going up against Ush. If not for the Earthshaker, that could have been a repeat of what we saw before. But no Vengeful Spirit. Oh, they're charging in! TC has Refraction in 5, and MSS backs off. Double damage rune, a very valuable one. One trap onto MSS. Has a second trap, but he can't get the rune in time. TC gets it. Double damage rune. Big melt strike. The charge goes through, and it's just enough to get MSS away. Zeus, maybe. High ground play. Looking for it. Fluff and stuff. The lightning bolt will finish him off. And that is a nice kill. Now going in, they get the Fisher onto Jason, but Hush is just out of range for the double raise.
Top tower
TC double damage still active, but doesn't want to walk into a chain stun between Earthshaker and Lion. So right now, a nice rebound for Ush, I have to say. I'm assuming if the neutrals were involved, taking out this camp, double stacked, most likely, but he has actually gotten up to 57 last hits despite his miss skill in the laning phase. So that's actually a really big deal, and he's able to kind of just play that Shadow Fiend the way he's meant to be played in a defensive position, which is just kind of rebound quickly with some flash farming potential. But I talk about flash farming, I have no idea that what they were planning on the side of Root Gaming here. Look at this ancient stack. Actually, charge bottom. We will see Guanzo most likely go to back to base. He's going to be taking some hits, but yeah, it's a battery assault. The cogs, they're not going to commit without an ultimate. Anyways, in the meantime, massive farm coming out for TC. He jumps up to 4720 for net worth. He's almost up to level 10. That ancient stack was absolutely massive for him, and with the Wave of Terror and the Side Blades, they cleaned it up nicely. So suddenly he's like 600, 700 gold off of Blink Dagger if he wants it, or he can just go for more stat items like a Yasha. I even see Mask of Madness. I don't think it's great here with all the disables, but it's not unheard of. It's the meta game after all. Another stack coming through. Maybe this one for Monkeys Forever. But they could just smoke. They could just leave the stack, smoke up, and go for the Omni Slash kill. Looks like they'll wait until after Monkeys is done farming, and then they'll make that play happen with the TC, the TA as well. Oh, Guanzo, not the right spot, man. The cogs will try to deter them, but he just charges right through, and sayonara. TC, late rotation, unable to do anything, and even a pat on the back. MSS throws him and earn charge. Just says, yep, not much going your way. And, I mean, he can hold his position down here. He's not going to be tower dove without the Nether Strike, but it's awkward that he's not going to be able to get as much farm here as he could somewhere else on the map. And he realizes it. He's just going to go for the Ancient Stack and rotate. In the meantime, up top, we don't see a smoke play. We actually see just Monkeys Forever building up that Mask of Madness and looking for this Tier 1 tower. Fortification is available, and it's free. But as far as counter-pushing this out, it's kind of difficult for NAR. Charging forward. They've got the line coming in too, looking for an opportunity. But it looks like that's just going to be non-existent. They'll kind of play passive and look for the Omni Slash plus Mask of Madness. Chad, perfect target for it. He goes down quick, and they could even get MSS caught in the cogs, caught in the hook. MSS charging away. Oh, so close to getting out of there, but he goes down at the end. Korok unable to make the difference, and they lose the tower. They lose 2 heroes, and now Korok's going a little aggressive. Maybe not the best move against Monkeys Forever. They still got 3 here after all, waiting in the shadows. So, really good momentum for Root right now. It looked like the Guangzhou feed train was going to set them back substantially, but they're just doing so well elsewhere that it doesn't matter, and Guangzhou did land the hook when it counted. But can they go for Roche is the question here. With Meld, with Refraction, with Mask of Madness and Wave of Terror, Medallion too, they've been priming for this Roshan, and they're even picking up the Haste Rune, which should be clear to NAR. But again, the question I asked is, can they actually go for it without NAR going against them? And it seems like it's just going to happen too quickly. They know about it, they're on the way, but it's too late. The negative armor stack, the Mask of Madness attack speed, it just brings it down too quickly, and now they've got an Aegis. So, this is something that you can just tell from the onset of the draft. It would be a point of emphasis for Root. Really fast Roshan, and 12 and a half minutes is certainly quick. So, great build-up right now for Root. They do have a net worth advantage right now of almost 2,000. Down bottom, though, Monkeys Forever. Against the Nether Strike, he can't TP out. He just goes for the spin, but now the Nether Strike connects, and he can't run fast enough. The Scream. The finger, he goes down, but a hasted TA. Trying to even the odds here. Chad, without a Nerf Spike, has the Hex, but that's a fast Fishy flopping around. Now the hook shot, connecting onto Fog, locked in place. Echo Slam will not save you, and TC wants more. Blinking, no, he cannot cancel the TP, and they'll just take the tower instead. Actually, over on the western side, we got Korok still in it, trying to bring down the Venge. She TP'd mid, she got hit by the Shadow Strike, she's dead, but Ush dove pretty far forward. One TP canceled. TC still in it. Blinking. Meld Strike. No, this is there's no way they get the kill. And in fact, just gonna get Requiemed. There is gonna be the ultimate coming through. The Yule's post Requiem tearing through the TA. She has a blink, looking to blink out if she needs to, but the charge comes across from MSS, only to get slaughtered by that Omni Slash. In the meantime, Korok, who was pretty far behind enemy lines, gets taken down by the Zeus. No ulti needed. Wow, these are just chaotic fights across the board, but TA doing some real damage. Juggernaut, Zeus pulling their weight as well. If not for that Requiem coming out from Ush, that would have just been a total loss for NAR, but in the end, they do some good work. They get some good kills. It's still anybody's ball game, but Root have a significant advantage. Zeus ulti going to be scouting things out, making sure that they know that there is no gank coming here. Even though there is an observer ward in place, just because they know it doesn't mean they can stop it. TC going for some heavy ancient stacking and heavy ancient farming. And yeah, they can try to go for it. Korok without the Sonic Wave, it's going to be up in 6 seconds. He also has a Yules to lock him in place. But it's so hard to engage into this kind of choke point up against a Clockwork. Clockwork will hookshot you there, he'll cog you there, and in the end, you're probably going to be taking unfavorable trades. So they don't risk it, even though they know TC's here, even though he's kind of vulnerable. The fact that there are so many towers to TP to makes it a death trap of sorts. So they just take the tier 1, the easy pick there, and they'll move forward with that. Sorry, just double checking a couple technical things here. Just monitoring a few metrics to make sure the stream is going as smooth as it needs to be. If there are any issues, feel free to throw them out in chat. Still kind of recalibrating my streaming rig, getting back in the action. We do see Korok in a spot where he might be able to catch out TC. Does have the Yules, but I don't know if that's going to really set up all that much. Raze, Fisher hitting out on Jason, but nothing too scary. It's actually going to be up top that the kills happen. We see the hookshot connecting onto the Spirit Breaker and a quick Omni Slash to bring him down. Now rotating forward, Ush slowed to a crawl. He does have the Yules, but he's going to have to just keep on the run. TC with the blink, maybe looking for it. Does slow down Ush, but they know the Shaker Fisher is waiting in the wings. So they've accumulated 3,000 net worth and experience advantage. Root just really using the Ancients more efficiently than anything else. Like, their kills are good, their fights are strong, Their Roche was swift, but in the end, I think the difference maker really is the ancient stacking they've been performing. I actually see Korak onto Jason, gets the full combo. The last auto attack will do it, but he's taking some heavy fire. Back over to the strength treads. He will survive. Popping the bottle, popping the blink, and walking away from there. They're still terrified of what TC can do to them. So it's going to be a bit of Yule's Dota here. 2 Yules on the side of NAR. 1 going to be coming out for the Zeus, most likely, in the next 4 minutes. And, I mean, it's a valuable item. It can stop the Spirit Breaker charge. It can set up Requiems. Like, from both sides, you can see a lot of value in it. And then, of course, the self-Yules for invulnerability against things like the Clockwork Jump or the Omni Slash. Just an all-around great item this game. So now let's look at map vision a little bit. Lightning bolting the Zeus, trying to clear things out, but doesn't see any wards for the moment. Most freshly plus 1 for the Radiant is right here on the upper side of the map, and you usually don't want to go dewarding on the other side of the river unless you've got backup. Still, we have a smoke play coming through here. Guanzo, Jason, looking for an opportunity. They don't see anything with the traps, but they assume that if they just kind of wait right here on the high ground, they'll find something. And they certainly have enough damage between the two of them to bring any one person down if they can single them out. But NAR, they won't fall for it. They'll just collaborate up on the top lane. Juggernaut here does have the spin, but there's no way you TP out of this, and he doesn't even get the chance to pop a spell. Just perfect chain stun coming out between the Spear Breaker, the Earthshaker, and the Thunder God's Wrath scouting it out just came out a moment too late. You do that 5 seconds before, and that's a Juggernaut that most likely survives, just using the Blade Fury, then the Phase Mask of Madness away. Mask of Madness Phase, whatever. And instead, you kind of have to just take a loss on your core hero. It's 7,800 net worth, and he's not farming. Fog looking for an open. Not really a great one on TC, though. I mean, right now, the way they deal with Refraction is through either the Requiem, which is a lot of small instances of souls, or through the Shadow Strike. Other than that, it takes the Urn of Shadows to take down Refraction, and that takes a pretty long time. Bottom lane just dying straight up, no defense amassed, and the Observer Ward's scouting the rotation, so Ush should be picked off here. No, they won't actually be able to get a hook shot onto him. It's going to be onto Fog, so he can't cast a single spell but the Echo Slam. He does throw that one out, but what can you do? Even trying to stun out Guanzo, he still is going to get the kill. The neutrals will not deny the Earthshaker, and in the end, it's actually going to be just a double kill for Monkeys Forever, popping the Omni Slash on the northern front and cleaning up the Shadow Fiend in his retreat. So they lose 4, just getting torn apart completely. And the big thing is the Shaker couldn't break that fight up. Like they wanted to desperately get the Shaker involved, get the Fishers out, but in the end, it's just they're completely split up thanks to that Clockwork Hook, and all the damage was on the key heroes. They're bringing down the Shadow Fiend. Well, I don't even think he Yules. He got the BKB out, but I don't think he got the Yules out, which is unfortunate. Anywho, that's a route to take another very effective fight, and again, this is Game 3. This is going to decide the match between the two teams, and both of them really needing to push forward if they're going to be going to the playoffs in California. Guanzo looking for the play. Doesn't have his Blade Mail yet, but still a pretty easy hook on Ush if he wants it. The big thing is he has no follow-through from his allies with that Fisher. So he'll just back off for now, Cog away. And MSS shrugs it off, just walks right through, and a Fisher block right here could completely stop his retreat. But a swab back. Now they don't have the Sonic Wave. They really can't fight this easily, but they still try for it. Earth Spike raised. They get 1 kill, and MSS was swift enough to head the other way. So they are actually able to take the fight here, and that's a nice one to pick off on Guanzo, now up to 5 deaths. Still, Spirit Breaker's topping it out with 6. MSS has had a pretty rough game up top and across the map as a whole. Still going to go for the charge, but that Dire Observer Ward sees it quite clearly. Roche respawning in 2 minutes. It's pretty much a freebie for Root unless NAR essentially take a winning fight right before the spawn. Otherwise, Root just take it down too quickly, and there's no chance for North American Rejects to really have much stake in it. Arch's BKB Yules. He's netted himself exactly 1 kill with the Requiem, And we're just not seeing enough potency from that ultimate just yet. He needs to either blink to be involved in the fights, or they need to take better engagements. Right now it's been Root taking the initiations. They are the ones that go, they get the clockwork hooks off, they are able to blink in and just find all these openings. And North American Rejects, even with the Spear Breaker charge, haven't found much. So at this point in time, the items that really need to come out for NAR, they need the Aghanim Scepter on the Queen of Pain. Oh boy, just coming out on the Courier now. Great timing, actually, all things considered. Korok, he's had his ups and downs in these team fights, but in the end, he's gotten a lot of great farm. 123 CS, 5 kills, 4 assists, net him a 22-minute Ag Scepter, and that's huge. The cooldown now at 40 seconds. The damage very significant, and BKBs or not, spins or not, he's going to be just tearing through people. Now going to be a hookshot attempt onto Fogged. Doesn't work out for them though, and the tier 1 will just fall. Okay, up top lane. While I'm watching for the hook attempts on top, it's actually going to be a kill against Ush here. It's just the Templar Assassin and so the Zeus ulti. Desolator meld strikes, bringing Ush and Dota down. He didn't even get the self-fuels off. Wow. Incredible burst coming out between those two, and obviously Ush didn't see it coming. I didn't either. That's just very unfortunate to lose your Shadow Fiend that way. He's a squishy hero, to be certain, but usually you'd think with an item build-up like this, he'd be able to respond in some capacity. Charge will give them vision for the Roche, but look how fast this falls! Roche is negative 21 armor without a Slardar, but Chad jumping in! He blinks, stuns everyone, and gets the Aegis for himself. That's actually incredible. He won't be able to escape this one, but that Aegis could decide a tier 2 fight, maybe even a tier 3. Picking that up for himself, he's happy for it. Oh, okay, Korok. He gets some neutrals for his Sonic Wave, that's about it. We'll be back up in just 40 seconds, and he's got the mana regen to support that. Still, Ush, I've got to keep my eye on him because he is actually quite squishy. Like 13 armor against the Desolator Meld Strike, it's not much. And then his HP beyond that is only 1600. So I'm showing some concern for Ush's safety. He's died 3 times now, and he's in a position where he could make it a 4th. Man, he is farming as far forward as he possibly can, but the second that clockwork hook hits, he's in a really bad way. You can try for the BKB TP, but swap, Omni Slash, anything to follow through, and you're gone. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, MSS, like, what can he do in this situation? Like, he wants to charge forward, he wants to make something happen, but it just feels like Root have so much map control right now. Like, they've got great ward coverage straight up down the mid lane. They are setting traps everywhere and just causing some real issues for NAR to take an offensive fight. And that's what they need to do with these Yules, with these Blink Daggers on the Lion, with the charge. Their counter engagement isn't that strong, but their initial engagement is great. Look at Monkeys Forever going down, a couple of zaps coming through, but they can't finish it. He actually gets away with 49 HP, and TC 2 shots his target with the double damage room, cleans up one more, and it's going to be a TP out for the Spear Breaker. That broke down quickly, dropping down to 50 HP. Is Monkeys Forever, but cleaning house is TC on this incredible Templar Assassin. Doing work now with a 10-second BKB that so far seems unnecessary. Like, we see a couple good disables on the side of NAR, but I haven't seen a single fight where TC's been controlled at all. The Hexes, like, I think the Hex when he had Haster is the most control I've really seen against him, and that's just nothing. Refraction now taking up the tower. It does have backdoor protection, though, so he's kind of just doing it for shits and giggles. And I'm not seeing an easy way for NAR to get this game back under wraps. I mean, the Ush Requiems has some real potential, but that's about it. They need a huge Echo Slam, which means they need Fog to have a Blink Dagger, and beyond that, they need Root to throw it a decent amount. But they have some insurance. Not only are they able to go in with like this BKB refraction on TA, so you can't actually kill her, because you have to auto-attack down her entire refraction, but you've also got the defensive nether swap protecting your cores. That's why Venge is just so strong in this metagame. So, in this position, everything, even hyper-aggressive, feels to be a safe move, and it makes it very difficult for NAR to get those critical picks. Now we do see maybe Fluff, Haste Rune expiring, walking into a bad spot here, but Radiant Vision, they don't see him, and he's going to be fine. Rocket Flare not scouting out Ush. So them kind of setting up shop in the Dire jungle is not scouted out just yet, but even still they can't really do much more than just spread the map and farm right now. Oh, gonna get a casual Eul Scepter onto the Juggernaut, but where is the follow through? Like, do you try to, like, if you had an Orchid, could you spam that out after the fact to try to do anything there? The Sonic Wave obviously isn't enough damage. It's just like, even if you get that pick, you need a second or third person involved, and right now mobility is a problem for NAR. Like, charging across the map is great for the Spirit Breaker. Blinking for the Lion is now kind of a way to resolve those issues, but you still have to be in the right general area to kind of follow through on the 2.5 seconds of initiation you have. Shdoda, not in a great spot. TC sees him, is able to snatch the Invis Rune, and look how fast he drops. Meld Strike, right click. These are non-crits, ladies and gentlemen. These are just straight up right clicks, dealing that much damage thanks to the lack of armor. MSS actually dies to the last hit from the Zeus. Everything just perfectly done to bring him down, and needs more GG branches. We actually see Korok jumping in. Might get Fluff here, but actually now caught in. Defensive Eul Scepter, Ghost Scepter, tries to salvage the situation. He will blink out. Earnest Shadow's ticking down, but the bottle keeping him up. One more blink and he's home free, but TC's got too much range. He cleans up the Zeus, but that's all he gets, and Spirit Breaker taken down on the backside of things. Ugh. Disaster. Absolutely disastrous. Zeus is... Oh yeah, Zeus was the one who breaks his TP. Sorry, it's mind-boggling just how well they're dominating these fights. But now we've got Monkeys Forever pushing in mid tier 2 while they claim tier 2 top with no trouble at all. The hookshot actually connects onto Fogged, and he's dead to rights. No Force Staff out. Now down for the count, and he's the one they need to hold the high ground. He can't fissure this ledge, and they can't counter-initiate without the Echo Slam. They can certainly try. They'll go for the counter push with the raises, but in the end, the tower just drops too quickly. Bash now, Monkeys Forever. They are almost at, like, desperation hour, last stand. The self-Euls is unavailable. It's on cooldown. And as such, the Shadow Fiend goes down without buyback. Shdoda is down for 60 seconds, and Root are looking to take the full lane of Rax in that with plenty of time to spare. Oh, boy. Are they actually going to go for a tier... in the mid, tier 3 tower? It seems a little greedy, but negative armor takes it down quickly. Fortification unavailable. It's got to be the 4v5 engage, and even that is dangerous now with such a net worth disadvantage. It's just spiraling out of control for North American Rejects. They're trying to hold. They have some really good nuke potential, but only on 1 or 2 heroes, and Guanzo actually catches out on Korok. Self-Euls, no time! He actually just dies in the combo. TC just does so much damage. It's absolutely insane. MSS now down, and the GG only moments away, going for the third and final lane of Rax to just slam the last nail in the coffin shut. Oh my goodness, TC Dota. The amount of physical damage he's put out with this hero is just absolutely insane. And they have just completely earned this victory here. The second win in their sights, the last Rax falling, and Mega Creeps insurmountable for the side of NAR. They tap out. Root Gaming take it 2-0. They take game 2, come back with Wisp Tiny. They take game 3 with the most insane physical damage output you've seen from their Templar Assassin and Juggernaut, as well as some amplification from the Avenge as well. Offensive, defensive, Root had it all this game, and they played it. I just completely outplayed NAR. I mean, there were a couple of unfortunate things. Korok DCing early maybe missed him a first blood kill. Ush misskilling on his aura really hurt his early CS, and he had to kind of rebound with the jungle. Another thing was just how difficult it was for them to engage against TC farming those Ancients. I mean, he must have gotten 8 to 10 ancient stacks in the first 15 minutes of the game. It was just insane how well he was able to build himself up, and you can see it in the GPM. He's 9 kills, 8 assists, 2 Roshans, and a lot of towers, but that doesn't add up to 718 GPM. It's the 209 last hits, with dozens of those being ancient creeps, that gets him to that degree of farm. It's just absurd how he's level 22 with all those items on only 31 minutes. TC Dota, ladies and gentlemen, really impressive to see. Root Gaming, they take out NAR 2-1, in this best of 3, and that's going to conclude it for our broadcast tonight. We thank you so much for tuning in to the Red Bull American Battlegrounds, and we hope you'll tune in tomorrow evening. We're going to be bringing you guys some more best of 3 action between some of the best teams in America, and we'll bring it here, of course, on Beyond the Summit. So thanks again for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the commentary, it's a little difficult to solo cast with all that action going on, but getting back into the play-by-play role, I am Blaze. You can check me out on twitter.com/blazecasting, and otherwise follow Beyond the Summit and check out their Twitter and Facebook pages to keep up with all the games that they broadcast. It's been a pleasure and privilege to bring you guys these games, but that's going to be all for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and y'all have a good one.